And continuing our conversation, Michelle Garcia and Ariane Riebel are here with Arms Wide Adoption Services just to talk more about some of these, like what Derek was mentioning, kind of debunking some of the myths. And I think, Michelle, your story debunks that right off the top. You're a single parent. I mean, you do have a long-term boyfriend, and he's very involved, but single mom, basically, and an older child. I mean, that's some of the myths, right, Ariane, that most people want a baby, or they need, two parents, or, there's so many other criteria that y'all are looking for a stable home for these children.
Right. The most important thing that we look for is a parent or a family who's able to parent a child who comes to them through adoption. And that's the most important thing, whether it's a couple or a single person. Age doesn't matter, income doesn't, play a big role.
So even if Michelle didn't have a long-term boyfriend, she easily could have adopted, or she could have adopted as a single person.
Right. Actually, when Michelle initially applied, I think they had just recently gotten together.
Yeah.
And so she applied to adopt as a single mom.
Mm-hmm. And what about same-sex couples?
We don't know, but we don't discriminate against any families. Basically, the situation with adoption is the family situation. So if they're not married, then, and as in with Michelle's situation as well, one family, one person can adopt.
But if a same-sex couple is married, then they can petition to adopt jointly as a couple then.
Right.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about the need in our own backyard. I know we looked at some statistics before the break, and that was really looking at sort of the state of Texas, but where are we as far as Harris County for the need?
So as far as Harris County, the way that Child Protective Services looks at it is actually as a region. So it's Harris County and the surrounding. Right. And so as far as adoption is concerned, there's right now 6,000 children available.
Wow.
That means their paternal rights are already terminated, and they're ready to move into adoption.
And these are children who are currently in foster care. I mean, they could be bouncing, they could be in the same house, but the bottom line is they are in need of a family.
Right.
What about an age restriction? Because I think one of the myths is also that someone has to be young to adopt. I mean, like maybe 30s or 40s, or of like traditional parenting age. Is that true, or is that false?
No. There's a minimum age requirement. You have to be 21, and there is no maximum age requirement.
Maximum.
No.
So essentially the goal of Arms Wide Adoption Services, your goal is to find loving, nurturing, stable homes for these young people who need someplace to go.
Exactly.
That's remarkable.
What would you recommend for people to start this process if they are like Michelle, that really are kind of, I want to be a parent, just how do they start the process?
There's a lot of ways to start the process. What I suggest is do a little bit of research as far as agencies are concerned online, or just call us, and go to an information meeting. When you go to an information meeting, each agency has information meetings, and at our information meeting, you get to meet us, and we talk about the entire process, answer questions, go through the application process, talk about the training, what the requirements are, and we actually provide the application at that session.
Great.
Well, thanks for the work that you do, Ariane. Michelle, congratulations on your family, and hopefully you'll check back in with us at some point. Let us know
Thanks for
how it's
coming
going.
in. Thank you.
In the meantime, if you guys would like to learn more about adoption or fostering, you can check out armswide.org or call 713-681-6991.